Hey everyone, it's Sports Entertainment with the latest news in pro wrestling. Today we'll be covering the plans for Karrion Kross following his return, Paul Heyman's thoughts on a future match between The Rock and Roman Reigns, Triple H pushing for more changes in WWE, and many more. But before that, be sure to click the subscribe button so you can stay in the loop with all the great content. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click on the thumbs up icon down below.
We told you that we could feel the all hell was gonna break loose here
Tell me!
tonight.
Don't tell me! Mamma mia! Mamma mia! Are you kidding me?
Plans for Karrion Kross revealed following surprise return. Last night on SmackDown, former NXT champion Karrion Kross returned to WWE, along with his manager and real-life wife, Scarlett. Rumors of Kross return to the company began just the previous day, and was quickly confirmed with his appearance on SmackDown within 24 hours after the rumors started spreading. Last we saw Kross, he was on Raw with the poorly received Gladiator Glide gimmick. He was also notoriously booked to lose his first match on the main roster. But if his return is any indication, it looks like Kross and Scarlett have a brighter future ahead of them with Triple H running things. In the closing segment of SmackDown, Drew McIntyre made his way to the ring to confront Roman Reigns, only to be ambushed by Kross before he got to the ring. Kross and Scarlett also left an hourglass for Roman Reigns, sending a warning to the tribal chief as well. According to Fightful, an idea is being discussed where Kross will be involved in the feud between Reigns and McIntyre. Additionally, a pitch was made for Kross to challenge Reigns for one of his titles somewhere down the line, as opposed to challenging for both the WWE and Universal titles. This is because USA wants to have a champion present on Raw, and with Reigns having both titles and being more associated with SmackDown, Raw needs to have a champion of their own. In his time in NXT, Kross is one of the most dominant stars on the roster, which eventually led to him capture the NXT Championship. Triple H knows the potential of Kross very well, and will be excited to see what else we can see from the former NXT champion in the weeks to come. Paul Heyman addresses The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Multiple rumors have been floating around for a while that the planned main event for next year's WrestleMania would pit Roman Reigns against his cousin The Rock. Considering that Mania is set to take place in Los Angeles, and that The Rock is one of Hollywood's biggest stars today, this will certainly be a big money match. Fans consider this a dream match, and in a recent podcast, Paul Heyman acknowledged the possibility of this match happening. In an appearance on the MacMania podcast, Heyman offered to give the Great One a title match against Roman Reigns if he comes back, but asserts his confidence that the tribal chief will come out on top. He stated that The Rock is more than welcome to step up to the tribal chief, as long as he understands that when the match is over, he's going to be like everyone else, and that he's going to acknowledge the tribal chief Roman Reigns. It's interesting to note that if this match happens, this will be the second time that Heyman would manage The Rock's opponent in a title match. The first one was Brock Lesnar back in 2002, who defeated The Rock under Heyman's guidance to become the youngest WWE champion at the time. There's no confirmation yet if this main event will push through, which is understandable considering that The Rock's busy schedule, but if it does happen, it could be a WrestleMania main event for the ages. Ric Flair announced his next wrestling appearance. Ric Flair had his final match last July 31st in an event titled Ric Flair's Last Match. Flair teamed up with his son-in-law Andrade in a winning effort against the team of Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Although Flair's team won, fans have expressed concern of the 16-time world champion's health following his performance. Many have commented that for his sake, this should indeed be Flair's last match. However, the Nature Boy announced an appearance for a wrestling event in Puerto Rico with Andrade. While this announcement again drew concerns over Flair's health, it was confirmed by his other son-in-law Conrad Thompson that Flair would be appearing in a non-wrestling role. Flair will be in the corner of Andrade when he goes one-on-one against Carlito. With Flair's performance in this last match, it's best to say his time in the ring is over, but you simply cannot take wrestling away from Flair, even if the man can't wrestle in the ring anymore. Sasha Banks and Naomi make first public appearance since Raw Walkout. The last we heard from Sasha Banks and Naomi was when they walked out on Raw last May, amid disputes regarding their creative direction. While news of the two making their return to WWE are circulating, the former women's tag team champions have since made their first public appearance since the walkout. Sasha and Naomi were announced to appear at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo this weekend. Photos have emerged showing the two attending the event and posing with fans for photos. Sasha was notably sporting a new look and even had a photo alongside AEW's Dan Hawson. Rumors of Sasha and Naomi's return to WWE continue to make the rounds, and it remains to be seen if and when the former tag team champions make their comeback. Rumors of Sasha and Naomi's return to WWE continue to make the rounds, and it remains to be seen if and when the former tag team champions make their comeback. Former women's champion injured at a house show. That former women's champion is Carmella, who appeared to be hurt in the middle of a match. At WWE's live event in North Charleston, Carmella was involved in a triple threat match for the Raw Women's title against Bianca Belair and Asuka. According to reports, a botched spot involving Belair and Carmella resulting in the latter hitting her head on the ring post. The referee threw up the X sign, signaling that the injury is a real one that needed immediate attention. Carmella was eventually able to walk out on her own. Fans at the event spread the news on Twitter. Apparently, Carmella's husband Corey Graves learned of about the injury on Twitter before WWE was able to inform him, and he was not happy. Graves voiced his frustration in a tweet that has been deleted. Injuries are a risk that wrestlers accept every time they step in the ring, but nobody wants any wrestler to end up with a severe injury that could keep them sidelined. Here's still hoping that Mella will be fine after the scary injury. Fans react to Liv Morgan getting booed on SmackDown. Liv Morgan was involved in the interview segment on this week's SmackDown, which was surprisingly sour. As the SmackDown Women's Champion addressed her victory over Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, fans in the building began to pepper her with boos and chants of "You tapped out." The later chant was in reference to Liv tapping out to Rousey at SummerSlam. However, the official during that match had his eyes on Rousey's shoulders, which were down on the mat, and counted the pin, awarding the victory to Liv. Although the issue may have been with the booking of the match, fans voiced their displeasure at Liv herself. This reaction from the live crowd drew the ear of the wrestling community, who felt that SmackDown Women's Champion was disrespected. Even WWE superstars reacted to the surprising reaction for Liv. Rhea Ripley branded the fans as fickle, while Kayla Braxton, who interviewed Liv during the segment, expressed disappointment over how the live crowd treated the champion. Liv Morgan, someone who has earned the admiration and respect of the WWE Universe, enough to earn her a championship. Yet here's some people who cheered her on are now the same people booing her once she got to the top. Observers have pointed out that some fans have a tendency to quickly turn on their favorites, which gives the wrestling community a bad rep. And on this particular night, Liv Morgan was unfortunately the target of these kinds of fans. And finally, Triple H to push for more changes in WWE. The last week has seen a lot of changes in WWE's booking. There was a return of Dakota Kai and introduction to Io Sky to the main roster, the push that Ciampa received on Raw, and finally the surprise return of Karrion Kross and Scarlett on SmackDown. Triple H is clearly behind the steering wheel, and it looks like he doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon. According to a report from Fightful, Triple H has been aggressive in meetings lately and wants to continue making changes with the current WWE product, and most notably, the game is insisting on striking the main roster and adding more depth to it. The report also mentions that the return of their ex-WWE talent are being discussed. Triple H clearly knows how to maximize the talents of his roster, as proven by his work during the black and gold era of NXT. The Hall of Famers seem to be righting the wrongs that the roster suffered during the Vince McMahon era as chairman and head of creative. And if his first week in complete control is any indication, is that Triple H works fast and is sure to deliver, so we can probably expect more surprises and perhaps a few returns in the coming weeks. And that's it for today's news roundup. Thanks for watching. See you again next time for Sports Entertainment News. What do you think of the news for this week? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, leave us with a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more great content. Until next time.
Off the ropes, always untamed, on guard when I step in the ring. WWE, all eyes on me. King of the ring, who you came to see? It's a big show, so let your friends know. Only the strong survive. Face to face, look your opponent up in the eyes. Crowd cheering, fan favorite, I'm the main event. Had them all waiting, my finish move, they anticipating. Laid out like you saw.